I was torn on accessories for, I would say, years, up until very recently, I think. Because I always found myself as, so if you're in the gym, let's say, and you're just trying to improve your physique, or if you are bodybuilding, not a professional by any means, but you treat the gym seriously, you track your macros, you track your protein consistently, you sleep when you're supposed to be asleep, and you push yourself hard in the gym. That kind of person. Those people always treat their accessories like they would a compound lift because they don't necessarily separate the two. They're in there and they push their sessions regardless of what they do. Whereas with powerlifting, and I find I ended up in this same boat myself for some time. You put too much emphasis on being prepared or fatigue free for your compound lifts. You would never want to sacrifice, say, your squatting session on the Sunday morning with pushing maybe heavy leg presses on Thursday, because you're thinking to yourself, oh well, I don't necessarily want to go into that Sunday squat session any bit fatigued, so why would I hinder my compound lifts by pushing my accessories too much? And that's kind of the point I'm making, where I have found myself guilty in the past of the term sandbagging accessories is thrown around probably too often these days, but I find that I was one of those people. Not necessarily in the case that I was sandbagging them where I was just rushing through my accessories to get them finished so I could get out the gym quicker. That wasn't the case. Like, I love going to the gym. Anytime I'm not in the mood to go to the gym, by the time I'm actually there, I do enjoy it. And I never try to rush, unless something makes me have to rush for the gym. But I would always, or for that period of time anyways, I found myself not pushing my accessories as much, maybe leaving more in the tank or saving my energy for the squat, bench or deadlift sessions that would come up in the future. But now looking back, because obviously I've learned the lesson, and at the moment I'm pushing my accessories now more than ever probably, the only way you're going to get stronger at your compound lifts is by pushing your accessories. Like, they go hand in hand, because if you're pushing your accessories, that's where the majority of your muscle growth, the hypertrophy, will take place. If you have more muscle to use, you have more potential to lift more weights in the future, because there's only up until a certain point where you're going to improve your technique, say, if that's the factor for you to, let's say, lift more weight on the bench press. Your technique is your technique. Like, at the very beginning, for the first couple of years in powerlifting, yes, your technique probably isn't up to scratch and it will take time to fine tune that. But I am now at a case, I find, where technically I know how to squat, I know how to bench, I know how to deadlift, making, yeah, of course, minor tweaks here or there, maybe experiment with different grip width on the bar for a bench or even for a deadlift, which is something I'm experimenting with at the moment. But my technique is my technique. Once you learn how to do those three lifts efficiently, that don't risk injury and that mean you get 3 white lights on the day of competition, you pretty much have it nailed down to a T. There's not too much else you need to do with your technique. You have that kind of sorted. So what's the next step? The next step is putting on more muscle, more potential for you to lift more weight. So that's kind of where I find myself now. Mentally, that's where I'm at. And especially in this gaining phase, this is why I find that it's such a good time for me to fully invest in this gaining phase, because I'm in that mindset now where I can fully commit, accept the fact that, yeah, I'm putting on some adipose tissue. That's just part and parcel of it. But here we find ourselves 6 to 7 kilos heavier than I was when I last competed back in June. And yeah, no signs of it slowing down, which is great. I'm looking forward to the next couple of months. As I keep saying, I'm constantly looking forward to the next couple of months, but that's a good place to be at. I'm enjoying the process, and that's the main thing. I don't see an end date for this gaining phase. Like, realistically enough, yeah, and my next competition in December, I will weigh in as an under 93. But I'm not going to be near 93 kilos on the platform on the day. unless I just started eating pizzas every single day, which I'm not going to do that. I'm more behaved than that, say. So between now and then, it's just a matter of keep pushing this bulk, eat on the days where I'm not feeling hungry, rest, recover, all that boring stuff, which I quite enjoy. I enjoy going to bed on time. I love feeling well rested. My baseline feels great these days, which I am very privileged to be so. Like, I've not too much responsibilities. Like, I'm not waking up in the middle of the night because I have a kid, or I don't have to do night shifts, or I'm not doing extremely laborsome work right now, which is all fantastic, and it just means I can put more into my training and more into my, well, I call it a hobby, but it's really a profession at this stage, seeing as I treat it as such. But hey, that's where we find ourselves right now. So we're on our way to the gym, on the way up to Westside in Finglas. I have a heavy deadlift session coming up, 240 kilo triple today. Should be nice and smooth. This is week 4 of this block, and I'm on my own today, unfortunately, because Dav, my coach, who I usually train with on Thursdays when I'm deadlifting with him, we go for a coffee together. We go to Wallinkyo, but I had to go on my lonesome today. But he is in San Diego this week. He's over at the Reach Rumble, which is the abs series competition. Is taking place in San Diego this weekend. So I am making my way up to the gym on my own, on my lonesome. I'm going to sip this coffee, listen to some tunes now, get me going, get me into the mood, get this caffeine into me, and I will see you in the gym. So the reason you probably wanted to watch this video is because I mentioned that I got my percentage body fat measured. How did I get that done? I got it done with a calipers, and it was actually my first time to get it done with the calipers. I've never had it done before. Anytime I've measured my percentage body fat levels were on an in-body assessment. So we actually had an in-body machine in the gym that I used to work in a couple of years back. Was it particularly accurate? Probably not. But the only thing I would say about it is that it was consistent, because for myself, anytime I did use it, I was both fasted, I was in minimal or no clothing, and I did it first thing in the morning. Where a lot of the time when people are going in to use it, let's say if they work in a public gym or they train out of a public gym and they get access to an in-body, they would only use it whenever they're in the gym. So if they have a morning class one week and then the following 2-3 weeks time they want to reassess their percentage body fat, let's say, or their body weight even, and they get it done in the 8 p.m. class, and then it's just skewing that data all over the place. So I wanted to make sure that when I did get the calipers done, it was done by a professional, which it was done by Emmett himself, my good mate back at home, and like the calipers is all calibrated and it's spot on. So I got the numbers to show you. So I am going to get milk. I'm just finished check-ins for the day. It's Monday, and yeah, I had a busy day, but I want to just get this cup of tea into me. I want to read a couple of pages of my new book just for 15 minutes before I get outside, get some steps. I'm going to go for a long walk. The block is like 40 minutes, so that's what's going to keep me going. So yeah, I'm going to take you with me. I got my measurements here. So I have my biceps, they were done at 2.2, triceps 5. I think these, I don't know what these are, but these are just the measurements. Abs 16.5 and subscap 11.5, and then they're thrown into this gauge, into this table here I'm going to put up. And for my age bracket, I came out at 35.2 overall when you add up all those numbers. As a result, that has me at a body fat percentage of 14.8. So I've been gaining since the 1st of July pretty much. That's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that, seeing as it's been slow and gradual, and I want that to continue as long as I am gaining. But it's just another metric of progress for me to track, because I don't want to get to a stage where I am like 25% body fat. Like, to be honest, that's never going to happen for me. I would never like to be that high a body fat percentage. So my metrics of progress up until this point have been the likes of the average body weight on the scales, my actual strength, my energy levels, my recovery. There are more so objective ones, or subjective rather, but the objective, the numbers never lie, I suppose. And another one that most people should be tracking as well is when you diet down, when you get abs, is can I still see my abs? If the answer is yes, you're probably doing a good job. If the answer is no, and it's only been 6 or 7 weeks after your diet has wrapped up, I hate to break it, it's not muscle you're putting on. It's probably a lot of that is body fat or adipose tissue. So as I said, it's just another metric of progress for you to measure and record. So this information is going to be really helpful for me. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm probably going to get it reassessed every 6 odd weeks, maybe, depending on access to the calipers, access to Emmett's time. If he's able to get it done for me again, that would be fantastic. And as I said, I would like to get it done in the same conditions with the same person measuring my body measurements, just because, as I said, I want to keep things as consistent as possible there. But yeah, that's where my body measurements are currently at. My average body weight this week is about 89.6 kilos. That's up from 83 kilos when I weighed in at my last competition. It was actually a little less than that. It was 82.6 kg I weighed in on that day. So Jesus, that feels like a long time ago, but it's not. That was the 28th of June. And fast forward, we are now, as of today, 13th of October. So plenty of time has gone between now and then. Plenty of food has been consumed. And yeah, training, as you can see, it's going in the right direction. Training is going really well. I'm coming into my 5th and final week of this training block, so I'm pushing the triples, aiming for a 250 kilo deadlift triple this coming week. aiming for a 220 kilo triple squat, and bench press. I believe I'm hitting a heavy double as of tomorrow morning at weight wise. We're looking at 132.5 to 135 kilos, depending on how I'm feeling. But sure, look, I definitely want to load up that 135. So we'll see how we get on. Going to get plenty of calories in me now tonight. I have my mince, my rice cooked, ready to go. I'm going to get another bowl of cereal into me. That'll bring my calories up to about 3,500 calories. Wake up nice and early, get a good strong coffee into me, and next time you see me, I will be pushing for a bench press PR. So if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.